There's Goblin's looking for his opponent, but we'll probably catch up with Goblin a little bit later if we can keep that win streak going. We'll see some more good stuff out of him. But in the meantime, all right, yeah, we're in the lobby for Lost and Found. Snute versus Ziggy. Let's see how game 2 goes. Snute was actually making some remarks at Austin. He really doesn't like playing Terran right now. I'll elaborate on that more in a moment, but let's hop into the game for now. All right, folks, we're in it. It's game 2. We did not cast game number 1. Now, I do really want to catch what is potentially Clem versus Hearthstone, but I thought that could take some time as Clem's still playing his first series, so we jumped into this one in the meantime. Spawning to the bottom left side, we got the yellow Terran player Ziggy, with his opponent at the top right, none other than Team Liquid's Snutes. Snute, by the way, a lot of you really, unless you watched the base trade stream where I went on and on and on about it, a lot of you guys don't appreciate how crazy his run at WCS Austin was. Like, there's the argument it wasn't that crazy objectively. He didn't get to the finals. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, like, he got to the round of 8. He grinded from the round of 80. I want to really emphasize that. Snute played from the round of 80. He got there with 2 minutes to go on his disqualification. And he didn't get any sleep or rest. And he played what was like a 10-hour day out like a champion. I've got a lot of respect for Snute right now. But a well-rested Snute came to the round of 16. And he fought... Or not the round of 16, excuse me, the end. It was group stage 3 before the round of 16. And he had a Terran player from the land of Australia named Scyther, however you say his name, in his group. And he lost to him 0-2, and I asked him, like, what happened, dude? Like, this was a Terran player who I imagined you were going to beat, no problem. And he went in to express that he was really just struggling versus Terran. Combination, the most recent balance patch, as well as the new map pool, has apparently completely flipped the script on all of his matchups. Like, Snute was a ZvT god. Like, he had a stupidly good win rate versus Terran before, and supposedly that's not the case anymore. And in fact, it might be one of his worst matchups he was expressing. But then after getting a little bit of advice from Bly, getting aggressive against some early game Terran, Snute was able to turn it around, and he took that 2-0 at the end of the group, sending him into that round of 16. So, I don't know how to measure him up against a player like Ziggy, but Ziggy is quality. He's Polish, he's powerful, and I think Snute's going to have to make no mistakes to get the 2-0 here. But the fact that he's up 1-0 in the series is a good start for him, especially knowing how he's been. Oh my god, what? I almost want to stop the stream for this. Tal'Darim Destroyer Ship says, oh god, the How to Train Your Dragon 3 trailer came out an hour ago. Hype. Dude, I loved How to Train Your Dragon. Even this stupid little mini-series they put out, which was objectively not good, I still loved. I gotta go check that out ASAP. I just saw the Wreck-It Ralph trailer last night, too. Oh my god. I hate to be that guy, but I actually want them to like remake the Disney princess movies in 3D because those models look so freaking fantastic. I'm super excited for Wreck-It Ralph. But How to Train Your Dragon's in that bad second. Also, while we're on the topic of like really silly like CGI shows or whatever, I just finished watching Troll Hunters. I'd heard the name about this for a while ago. I didn't think it was like anything special, and honestly it looked like a really kiddie show, and at times it could be, but honestly I really enjoyed it. I just finished binge watching all 3 seasons over the last couple weeks. I watched a majority of it on my plane rides to and from Austin, but if you guys like things like How to Train Your Dragon and stuff, I would actually really recommend checking out Troll Hunters. The voice cast on it too is so good. You got Kelsey Grammer in there out of nowhere, like what? Ron Perlman's like one of the first original bad guys in the series. Anyways, I'll stop there. We'll talk about StarCraft, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. I just wanted to share that with people who might also find themselves enjoying it. But Ziggy's Reaper doesn't actually get that much scouting, funny enough. Saw the third base, and I mean, this is more than enough. You're playing against a player like Snute. He likes to get queens. He likes to get a third. This is kind of like, oh, what a surprise, but not getting to the main, not confirming gases, not seeing whether there was or wasn't a Roach Warren. I think against any other Zerg player would have been a necessity. But again, Snute's a guy who likes to play a little bit more dialed back. Like, for me at WCS Austin, he's like, I'm going to play cheesy, which for him was a little bit of early game aggression, 20-minute macro game, right? So Snoot's got a very particular way he enjoys playing, and I think it's worked out well for him. So I'm not going to even, there's no criticism. It's just noting that I think Ziggy doesn't need to scout to know what's going on here with Snute. But also, chat, we got to do a quick poll. We could watch this Snute and Ziggy series out, but I've asked Hearthstone to let me know that if he gets Clem as an opponent, to let me know, and I may even potentially drop this game to cast him. So this isn't like vote 1 or vote 2. With a 2-minute delay, I'm going to forget what the answer was. But let me know, yes or no, like express your point. Yes, you would like to see us drop this game to go watch Clem and Hearthstone, or no, you'd want me to stay with Snute versus Ziggy no matter what. Like that sort of thing. I'm not saying I will or won't, but I'm curious what chat's opinions are so I can piss off the least amount of people with my decision. Because I really am leaning towards Clem and Hearthstone no matter what, but Ziggy and Snute are such good players, and I love them both so much. I would love to also watch this, so I'm kind of on the fence. You guys may help push me over one way or the other. But this first drop is pushed off really hardcore. Of course, a bit of a scan to clean up some tumors. Only gets 1. Not such a worthwhile scan. I was going to say, though, this is the power of Snute. He's a Zerg player who likes to go heavy on queens. He's sitting on 9 presently. This is more than enough to lay down that creep, but most importantly enough to eat some of the marine damage and shoot on those medevacs. And if those medevacs go down, there's no power to any of these drops or any of these attacks. Ziggy does have stim. 1-1, not really that close to finishing, but overall pretty close to finishing. And he just continues to meander around for the time being. Roach is coming out of Snute too. Gonna give his army a little bit of beef. A little bit of extra firepower. He's got that lair finishing up in a moment. We'll see what his lair tech choice ends up being. I think overall it's pretty safe to assume that Speedlings and Hydra seems to be the weapons for most, but while Raynor has been a guy, Snute is also following suit, with range weapon upgrades being the emphasis. For Snute, it makes sense because he goes so queen heavy, but if it is a game where you're relying more on your Hydralisks for damage than anything else, then that range upgrade is fantastic. But oh my god, that aggressive scan took out so many tumors from Snute. He's still got plenty to spare, so he doesn't need to desperately go replace them, but that's a lot suddenly gone. Have you seen the movie Troll Hunter? Does it have anything to do with the series, or is it like something separate with a similar name? Because the answer is no, I haven't seen it. But oh, this attack has got cover from the siege tanks, but the tanks only reach out to about here, so for now, Ziggy's not really fighting with the full force of his army, but neither Snute. He was so scared to engage because of the tank fire. He didn't know how far that would extend. Clearly, it wasn't very far. But Snute still got a lot of army supply to work with, despite taking some what looked like initially really bad engagement there. He's doing okay for now. Still, though, no splash damage makes this tough. I mean, he's got a couple of corrosive vials, but those are hard enough to land. I don't know if they even count for splash damage. If you can knock down the rocks, that would actually be great in helping open up some potential engagement paths. Without that creep tumor here on the high ground, he has no idea if the tanks are still there or not. So it's a little bit dangerous moving around, but as we can see, Ziggy has pulled back. Also, yo, big shout-outs to Higgins _ 30 months. Yay, me! Thank you for that resub, man. Looks like I'm going to say a majority of people want me to stick this out. We do see a couple of Clem versus Hearthstone votes in the chat, so maybe what we'll do is if Clem and Hearthstone get going, and I'm not saying they will, we still don't know, Clem hasn't won his series. If they get going, we may just try and catch game 2 of them and finish this one out instead, seeing how this plays out. But, okay. Marines to the top side, clean up some more of those tumors. Against any other player, this wouldn't be as important, but against Snute, he's a guy with macro and he likes his highways. And right now, Ziggy, while not destroying Snute, he's doing a pretty good job policing the creep spread and reducing the map presence Snute has. I like this two-pronged attack. Down to the south, those medevacs come in, but with no Hydralisks and mostly just roaches, there's nothing to shoot back, so he picks up. He flies away. I'm still really perplexed by this choice out of Snute, by the way. I've seen him play a lot of versions of Zerg, but this is one where he's gone really heavy on the roaches. There's no Hydras to be seen. In fact, I don't even think he made a Hydralisk den. No, he did. Excuse me, I take that back. But he's still emphasizing the ranged weapon upgrades for his roaches of all things, which, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of. If Snute makes it work, obviously that's going to be cool, but just overall, roaches never seem to be like the go-to versus Terran. But picks off a Marauder. These medevacs are still kind of free-floating. These queens are going to have a little bit of damage on them too to help pick off those medevacs, one of which is one shot from death, 6 health. Go home, Ziggy. You drunk. Heal that shit up. This attack's a little bit awkward. The roaches are kind of slow to respond. He does have roach speed, right? Yeah, it just looks slower than it is, I suppose. Always comparing that to the on-speed creep timing, but Broodlord's coming out now. Again, no melee upgrades this game. It's all emphasizing the range, and he's gone for fast Broodlords. Now the Hydras start coming out, and maybe my thoughts are Snute kind of bluffs with roaches, hoping that Ziggy doesn't make anything to deal with his Hydras, but I mean, I think the same composition for Terran applies, just generally speaking. Not a fight Snoot's gonna win. Not a fight I think he should have taken. But maybe just clean up some of his supply, make room for new units. But then he remaxes on roaches, so maybe not. Tough to say how this goes down for Snute. If he just buys time for Broodlords, I think he's gonna look pretty good, especially against the tanks Ziggy's brought. But I mean, this is an army that is a lot of the bio for its emphasis, not the mechanical component. Like, there's no liberators, there's not a lot of medevacs, it's not 15 tanks, double factory pumping them out, right? Like, for Ziggy, this is all about the bio game. I don't know how I like Snoot's composition for fighting that bio game. More links coming out, gonna soak some hits. I think he's got Bailiness, surely, right? No, he doesn't. Oh my. That's a little weird to see, actually. No Bailings whatsoever is not unheard of, but just, I don't know, I guess I'm more used to watching Rogue play with 50 than Snute playing with 0. Abduct's not too bad. He grabs a tank. Some of this Marine bio's getting low. There's those blinding clouds. That's pretty nice. But the corrosive bios are not being used on the tanks. He was trying to hit bio. I feel like that was a wasted opportunity. Maybe caught a little too much with some tunnel vision. And Snute, by the way, who did get a Greater Spire finished up, has no Corruptors, no Broodlords, no Broodlords on the way. This is an awkward problem, because now he's fighting a game that is almost like Roach Hydra, but more roaches than anything else against a Terran player who's got Marauders, he's got tanks. I mean, this is all kinds of, hey, Snute, I'm gonna kill you if you go roaches. Ziggy draws a hard line in the sand. Snute, what can you do here, man? He's got drops and liberators heading out across the map. Not going to be fun to deal with. Spore Crawler's starting up immediately to deal with this. Tank gets abducted. Nice little yoink there from the Viper. Ghost Academy coming up soon, too. And I guess we'll see some ghosts enter the fray. Whether it's a sniper or an EMP, either are going to be welcome. Snute, who had a really fantastic income lead this game since his loss, I suppose. And oh, we're not using Game Heart. I just realized. I had not even realized. Okay. Well, can't show you the income, but you can see pretty clearly how it looks there on the bottom right. Just snipes off that base. Snute can't land those corrosive bios nearly in time. Oh boy, Ghost coming out. This is looking pretty good for Ziggy, folks. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that Snoot's got some power right now in the mid game, but the type of power he has is like Ravagers and Roaches. I'm not sold that this will win him the game. Ziggy's been doing a pretty good job playing around it so far. And now that he's got Ghosts coming out, I mean, whether you're sniping a Ravager, a Hydralisk, a Viper, like, Ghost's just going to bring a lot of extra to the table. Plus, they're just good to have overall for later on if there ends up being Broodlords, if there ends up being Ultralisks, which, of course, neither are happening for Snute at the moment. So some corrosive bios do try to land. I think he hit like one Marauder, maybe. That, oof. Ziggy! He's got some momentum really going for him as he pushes here on the creep. He's leapfrogging the Liberators and the tanks, one covering the other while he sets up positioning. Ghost looking for a couple of shots, but I mean, it's nothing for them to shoot. And with all these scans, he knows it too, so it's just a little bit of damage there on the front lines. Cloak's done in about, how many seconds is that? 30? Oh shoot. Alright, looks like Clem did end up winning, and he's about to start versus Hearthstone. This game has gotten to the point where I'm not going to be ripped out of this game. I told him to start without us, but I mean, big thank you to Hearthstone for potentially holding. I felt really bad not responding because I was watching the game. No medevacs though, interesting here. This is a problem. I shouldn't say no medevacs, but really rather low medevacs. Not a lot of energy left on these guys. This is a bit of a problem. And looking pretty tough for Snute, but with such low bio, every stim is actually devastating for Ziggy. He's trying to get some more medevacs out of the front line now, but this is... Oh, man, I don't know. I wish Snute had fungals. Can you imagine this situation? 2 or 3 fungal growths with no medevacs to support that army? Well, hell, we might not have to imagine. He's abducting tanks into blinding clouds. He's getting some kills. A bit of a concave. Again, the bio solo. There's no heals. And Snute crushes the defense. He pushes off the attack. And Ziggy has done some great harassment this game. Harassment isn't going to win him. Oh, boy. Snute might be looking to close this out with a 2-0. If this ends up being the case, this means we will hopefully be able to catch game 2 of Snute. Excuse me, Hearthstone versus Clem. But man, there's so many matches going down on that bracket. It's a double elimination with so many people playing today. Oof, it was fantastic. I think that I'm really excited to catch any matches. Doesn't matter which ones. But I think that my sights are set on Clem Hearthstone game 2, if that's possible. But this is going on for a little long game, so if this ends up big, Ziggy winning, and we go to game 3, no complaints from me. That being said, Twitch chat, thank you very much for keeping me company so far today. Look at the attacks pushing it once again on top of these creep tumors, and Snute's army is kind of mismatched as it was. His upgrades were awkward, his composition is very different than normal. Broodlords almost never, I mean, still haven't come out. I'm really excited to see him continue to fight this out. Corrosive Vials without fungal growths are certainly weird to watch. For a time, the Terran meta, or the versus Terran meta, was set in stone. Corrosive Vials, fungal growths could beat almost any composition. That's not the case anymore. Still just kind of awkward watching Snute walk around like this, because I think that any situation where Ziggy has to set himself down, you know, set his siege tanks up, set up the liberators, that's where Corrosive Vials are best. Grabs a medevac there. That was cool to see. Doesn't happen too often. What was this? Guidolin, thank you for the 7-month resub with your Prime. Welcome back. Glad to have you on board for another month. Corrosive Vials rain from above. Snute not quite getting the lucky hits this time around. Still pushing Ziggy away. But Ziggy's continuing to push around the top. He's pushing along the bottom. I think he knows he's not going to win a head-on engagement, so he's really trying to split the map. But what are these starports going to be for? I don't think Ziggy has the money, much less the gas, to produce anything off of 4 starports. I gotta imagine he's just really sick of trying to play catch up with the medevacs, maybe? Get a couple liberators on some side action, of course, and hell, maybe a Raven or 2, because even though the Raven damage has been nerfed from the anti-armor missile, the -3 armor it provides is still massive, and when you're playing a bio composition, more shots faster means more damage on less armor. So Marines and Marauders become more effective, but just kind of sacrifices the bio to get those precious medevacs out. The army at home messed up, doesn't look that scary. He might be on 3-3, and yes, there are some ghosts in this, but I don't know, that army supply is just low. Snute's up like 50-something supply. He's abducting ghosts. He can even abduct Marauders if he wanted to. Any abduct is a good abduct at this point in the game. Grabs another ghost, another tank, just nom 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 nom. Of course, a blinding cloud stops the tanks from firing. The Hydras and Ravagers just kind of moving into a wall of bio. Blinding cloud comes in, forcing Ziggy close to him, and Snute has won the game and the series with a very nice 2-0. And he'll move on to the bracket. I'm wondering if part of this too, by the way, so the composition very different from Snute, not what we're used to seeing at all. I'm wondering if there is like a little bit of that cause and effect from him not loving the current weight versus Terran goes for him, that he says, you know what, anything, I got to change up my game plan, right? Anything is better than what I was doing before to lose. So congratulations to Snute, so move on. Now, I'm not sure if we will get to catch Hearthstone and Clem. If another match pops up right now, fresh and brand new, we'll try and grab it. Where's Beastie on the bracket? He's actually starting a game soon too. And I hate these brackets so much. He lost. So it's Namshar versus Zanster. Snute will advance. Oh, yo, no, we're gonna just wait. Okay, so we will for sure try and catch Hearthstone Clem game 2 because the winner plays Snute. Easy peasy. So there's gonna be a little bit of downtime. Hopefully not too much. But I'll try and get into game 2 of Hearthstone Clem as soon as I can. So thank you all for watching. This is where I am gonna try and bait somebody out. Don't do it right now. I'm about to go to commercial break. But when we come back later, I did make a brand new 10,000 bit notification. I don't know if there's any big ballers in the audience, but just saying, it'd be cool to hear. Thank you guys again. We'll be back in 2 minutes.